So yeah, older guys can date younger women, but doesn't it matter how old or how young the older man is? So sure, Caleb, a good-looking 37-year-old guy could hook up with a 19-year-old, but could a 62-year-old guy do that? Could a 57-year-old guy do that? At what point does it get non-feasible? I will answer all those questions right now.
Alpha Male 2.0. Freedom-focused lifestyle design for men. We do 5 videos a week here on how to make both your business life and woman life more free, because you need both. If you subscribe to this channel, leave a like on this video, and leave a comment on this video, you will automatically be entered into the regular drawing for my online video course on how to create location-independent income, normally $1,400. We regularly announce the winners at the community feed at this channel.
One of the questions I get from older guys wanting to date younger women or much younger women is the question, and there's various variations of this, but the general question is, hey Caleb, I'm blank years old. I'm 52. I'm 67. I'm 49. I just turned 40, whatever the age is. Is it really feasible for me to actually get to know and have sex with women who are as young as 19 or 22 or 25? Or do I just need to pay for it? I mean, do I just need to just forget this game stuff and pay for it? Is it really feasible for me at my age? So the answer is, it depends on how old you are. Duh, of course. So I'm going to give you a breakdown of the age ranges of men and how those age ranges are compatible with or not compatible with dating much younger women or having to pay for sex, and at what ages they may have to do that, and at what ages the women may be. It's a little complicated, but I will make it very clear as always. So first, I always need to clarify what younger woman means and what older man means, because I always like to be very specific in my terminology. A younger woman is defined as any woman who is 10 years or more younger than how you look. So I don't care what your numerical age is, whatever age you look, and most men do look their age, but there are a lot of guys these days who look younger than they are. I certainly am in that category. So for example, if you look 47, okay, maybe you're 49, 50, maybe you're 45 and look 47. There are those guys in that category too. A lot of guys who drink a lot or do a lot of drugs or haven't lived a good lifestyle, what have you. So let's say you look 47. A younger woman would be any woman to you under the age of 37, 36 or below. Dating within that 10-year span is considered societally normal, so I don't consider that a younger woman. So yes, if you're 47, a 40-year-old woman is much younger than you, but that's still within the norm. My own wife is 8.5, 9 years younger than me, and that's not considered unusual by most societal standards. So that's what younger woman means. Now, another category of younger women is what I call VYW. These are very young women. These are women from the age of consent, whatever that is in your region. I'm going to assume it's 18 for the rest of this video, but some regions it's 16, some it's 17, God forbid some it's 15 or 14. So age of consent to age 22. Those are very young women. So when I say younger women, it's both of those categories together. What is an older man? What does an older man mean? What is the age at which you are older? Well, let me describe that in a second as I go along. Men in their 20s are what I would classify as younger men. So if a younger woman is a woman that is more than 10 years younger than you, when you're in your 20s, that's really not a concern. Because every woman you are meeting who is younger than you and legal is probably going to be within that 10-year range. So guys in their 20s don't really need to focus on how do I date younger women. Occasionally I'll get questions from guys who are like, I'm 28 and I want to date an 18-year-old. What do I do? What are the special techniques? Dude, there are none. She's in your age range, go for it. That's not weird, at least not these days. That's within 10 years, you got a green light. No special techniques are needed beyond the typical techniques of dating, game skills, relationship management, and so on. So men in their 20s are younger men. Men between the age of 30 and 34 are older, younger men. I still consider these men younger men. I have written entire articles about the childification of men, and unfortunately for society, not that I give a shit, but unfortunately for society, most men today in their early 30s really have behavioral patterns of younger guys in their 20s. That wasn't the case 30 years ago, but today it is. So today you've got guys in their early 30s who spend a lot of time playing stupid shoot 'em video games and watch TV and hang out with guys at the bar and basically act like college students. Yes, I'm making a generalization. Yes, not all men are like that age range, but certainly you are indeed a younger guy if you are between the age of 30 and 34. You also look younger. So a lot of guys these days in their early 30s look like guys in their 20s. That is also true with women, by the way, as a peripheral point. A lot of women in their early 30s today look like women in their 20s. You really can't tell they're in their 30s, which is a good thing. So 35. I've talked a lot about age 35 on this YouTube channel several times and at my blogs. 35 is indeed when a man crosses a threshold into older. So as soon as you hit 35, you are now an older man. So that means that certain things are going to happen to your body. Your body's going to start saying no to certain things it used to say yes to. And you guys are over 35, certainly over 40, know what I'm talking about. But your mental priorities change. But you are taking on the persona now of an older man. So if you are over the age of 35, certainly 35 to age 39, and you want to hook up with a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old or 21-year-old, you are an older man. You're going to have to use older man techniques, but it's not going to be super difficult. I have said before, and I still believe this, that men's physical attractiveness, just physically now, nothing else attractive, not income, not personality, not intelligence, just physical, men's physical attractiveness, in my opinion, but a lot of people seem to agree with me on this, maxes out, peaks at about age 37. So in your late 30s, you are physically maybe as good looking as you're ever going to be. Men in their late 30s tend to look better than men in their 20s who tend to look like dorks. And I'm pointing at myself. I looked like a total fucking dork when I was in my 20s. And as you get older than 37, you start getting wrinkles and you start balding and all that fun shit. So you're not going to have a lot of trouble as an older man between 35 and 39 dating younger women, but you are still an older man. You'll have to use older man techniques, using more rapport, being non-creepy, various other techniques I talk about and will talk about in the upcoming How to Date Younger Women course, going on sale April 29th for about 4 or 5 days. Youngerwomen.io for the free webinar I'm doing there, by the way. So that's a free webinar I'm doing on April 29th at 3 p.m. EST. Youngerwomen.io to register for that. But anyway, that's the breakdown for men in their 30s. Men in their 40s. And I'm about to turn 49, so I'm about to exit my 40s soon. I have one more year in my 40s before I hit the big 50. So men in their 40s, there's some confusion about this. A lot of men, and I've gotten a lot of emails from you guys saying, well, once I turn 40, then I can't hook up with younger girls because I don't have to pay for it. Wrong-o. Men in their 40s have no trouble dating much younger women, including VYWs, women between the age of consent and 22. I, in my early 40s, and throughout my 40s, had lots of sex with lots of younger girls, non-sugar daddy. I didn't pay them any money to do it. A lot of that stuff in my 40s. But here's the trick with guys in their 40s. When you enter into your 40s, your physical appearance becomes a much, much, much bigger factor. Younger women are willing to forgive guys in their 20s and 30s for physical problems. If you're overweight, or if you have a stupid hairdo, or if you dress like a dork. Most younger women, and yes, I'm generalizing once again, yes, there are exceptions to every rule. I don't want to hear about the exceptions to the rule. The exception proves the rule. But most younger women will forgive men those things, provided everything else is okay. When you cross over 40, that threshold gets much more narrow. And so now younger women are be much more picky about how you dress, how you present yourself in your 40s if you're going after them. So you're going to have to really, really focus in on the older man techniques in terms of the differences between how you date women your own age range in their 40s or maybe late 30s than if they're 10 years plus younger than you, and certainly if they're under the age of 23. You have to really, really, really make sure. I talk about, like on first dates, how before you go on a first date or first meet, you just stand in front of a full-length mirror, look at yourself from head to toe, and just go down every detail. Your hair, your skin, your eyes, your grooming, your shirt, how your collar looks, your pants, your belt, your shoes, your body language. Are you standing straight? These things become much more important in your 40s, dating much younger women, than they are in your 20s and 30s. But no, you do not have to pay for sex for hot younger girls in your 40s if you have everything else together. I certainly haven't. And I've done a mix of both, particularly in the last few years. But I've done a mix of both. You guys know about that. I've talked about that a million times. Topic for another time. But guys who say, well, once you hit 40, it's all over, and then you can't date 18-year-olds, wrong-o. I will tell you for a fact, and this is a fact, and I know this is a fact because I've tracked all this stuff on spreadsheets for the past 12 years or so. My success with younger women, non-sugar daddy, normal younger women online dating and referral game and social circle game, my success with younger girls dramatically went up when I went into my 40s. because I had more confidence and because I knew what I was doing better. So it didn't get worse when I hit 40. It got better, and it got much better. So 40s is good as long as you're very careful and cover all the bases. It's a little trickier, but it still works just fine. That brings us to men in their 50s. Now, men in their 50s, that's where things get a little complicated. And I'm about to enter my 50s myself in about 1 year. So I'm speaking personally here, but I've talked to many men in their 50s. I've worked with many men in their 50s, coached many men in their 50s in terms of dating younger women. I've had email correspondence with many of you, forums, all kinds of communication with guys in their 50s. Once again, there's a category of men that say as soon as you turn 50, you can't hook up with any hot young girls anymore. It's not possible. Incorrect, but it's not as black and white as men in their 30s or 40s. Men in their 50s, I have to break out into two categories. So when you have men in their 50s, they really distinctly break out into two categories. Category one, the much smaller category, are men who have historically paid attention to their physical appearance and paid attention to their health. Okay, that's not most guys in their 50s, certainly most Western guys in their 50s. So these are men who are not fat. They might be a little overweight, but they're not fat. They don't have thinning, disgusting hair. They don't have a big bald spot. They don't have ridiculous grooming. They don't dress like dorks. They don't have a big pot belly sticking out. They've got decently good skin that looks pretty youthful. They look decent. They look okay because in their 40s and 30s, they kind of paid attention to this. That's one category. The second category is the typical guy in his 50s. The typical guy in his 50s, usually a beta male, or in some cases, an alpha male 1.0 who very stupidly surrendered to monogamy, let himself go. And this is the typical dumpy looking motherfucker who is the typical man in his 50s in the Western world, fat or chubby or dad bod, dumpy looking, stupid hair, shitty skin, doesn't know how to dress, horrible body language, kind of walks with that stoop that a lot of guys start. Horrible body language. He walks with kind of that stoop that men start walking with in their early 40s because they don't lift weights, they don't work out their abs. That's the other thing. He's never lifted weights, or if he lifted weights, it was way back in his 20s. That's long gone. So his health is shit. His testosterone has dropped to like 200. He fucking sucks. So those are the two categories. So your success with younger women obviously is dependent upon those two categories. If you are a man in his 50s who is in that first category, where you've kind of taken care of yourself, you look decent, you don't look like Tom Cruise, but you look decent, you look decently good, you are the equivalent to men in their 40s. So you can completely date younger women, including very young women, late teens, early 20s, legal teens, please check ID, always, 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 of course. You can do that stuff, but again, you've got to be really, really careful about how you come across, how you look, how you dress, your game. You got to be very, very careful. You have very little or no margin for error, just like guys in their 40s. If you're in that second category of men in their 50s, yeah, you're fucked. So let me describe what fucked means. You need to either take 6 months or a year and completely transform how you look using money in some cases. You might need to address your skin. You might need to fix problems with your teeth. You might need to spend some money and deal with your hair like I had to. You might have to do these things. Lose some weight, or if you're really skinny, hit the gym and gain some muscle mass or whatever, and transform your body so you can get in that category of men in their 50s who have kind of taken care of themselves. Maybe go on TRT, highly recommend that. All those things. Or, yes, you are resigned to date women who possibly are younger in that they're more than 10 years younger than you. But for the really young hot girls, you're probably going to have to pay for it. You're going to have to go on Seeking Arrangement and shell out a few C notes in order to get the really hot, younger girls. You can still date women your own age range, of course. You can still date women perhaps in their late 30s, sure. But beyond that, it's going to be a challenge. And that's on you. You let your body go, so I don't know what to tell you. That brings us lastly to men who are 60 plus. Men who are over the age of 60. And this is finally where the naysayers and the negative guys are correct. They say, well, once you turn 60, you're going to have to pay for it to get with super hot girls. Yeah, you are. You are. That's just the way this goes. I fully expect to be in this category when I'm in my 60s. If you're 60 plus, even if you look good for 60, and you want to hook up with a super hot 20-year-old, yeah, you're going to have to pay for it, unfortunately. But here's the deal with that. That shouldn't be a problem for you in your 60s, because by the time you're in your 60s, you should have plenty of money. Money should not be a problem for you in your 60s. If you're in your 60s and you don't have a lot of money, you have much bigger problems than getting laid with hot girls. Believe you me. Holy shit, what the fuck have you been doing? So in your 60s, yes, you're going to have to pay for it if you want super hot younger girls, but that shouldn't be a problem for you because you're in your 60s Shouldn't be a big deal. Is it possible to get there without doing any sort of sugar daddy game and without paying for it? Highly unlikely, unless your scenario is very unusual. Maybe you are extraordinarily wealthy and you have like a yacht and a private jet and you are so rich that you don't have to pay women. Maybe, or certain women. If you're a celebrity or have some kind of celebrity cred in your local city, maybe you could get away with it. But these are the odd exceptions to the rule. You should just plan on, when you're 60 plus, even if you look damn good for 60, you're going to have to throw around a little money to get with the hot, very young women. Now, that doesn't mean you couldn't hook up with very attractive or still attractive women who are in their 40s or even perhaps late 30s. Maybe if you have very strong game and you look really good for a guy in his 60s, if you look like Liam Neeson, that good, possibly. That's possible. But beyond that, you're going to be spending some money, and that's okay because you should have plenty of it. That is the breakdown. You should go to youngerwomen.io to register for the free online training webinar I am doing on how to date younger women. April 29th, 2021 at 3 p.m. EST. And that's when the How to Date Younger Women course is going to be launched. If this is a topic you guys want to hear more about, dating younger women as an older dude, and older meaning over 35, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in my email, and I will do more of these. In the meantime, you can click this video here on how to date women of different age ranges, or you can click this video here on how to date emotionally unstable women or what to do about them. I will see you in the next video. Bye.